Since its inception in 1955, the UEFA Champions League, formerly known as the European Cup, has gone through a number of developments, rebrands and format changes. In the competition's debut season, 16 teams took part in a straight knockout tournament to crown the Kings of Europe. Several evolutions later, including a name change during the 1992-93 season, and we come to the now familiar format that we are all used to throughout all of UEFA's club competitions. However, from the 2024-25 season, the Champions League will see its biggest change in decades, arguably even since the inception of the competition. On the 10th of May 2022, UEFA revealed their plans for the latest incarnation of the Champions League, including its final format and access list, which would begin during the 24-25 season. Not only would these changes affect their premier club competition, but also the secondary Europa League and Conference League tournaments. So what are these changes, and what do they mean in regards to qualification, how and when matches will be played, and for fans watching at home or attending games in person? In this video, I shall break down the new format and explain what the new UEFA Champions League will look like for the foreseeable future. Before getting to the ins and outs of what these changes mean, it is important to establish what they are. In regards to the Champions League specifically, the tournament will increase from 32 to 36 teams, with the traditional format of 8 groups of 4 teams being scrapped, to be replaced by placing all 36 sides into a single league system. Each team will play 8 games at this stage of the competition, 2 more than what would be played at the same stage under the current format. This is known as the Swiss system, a format primarily associated with chess, whereby each team doesn't play all the others. The key difference between the two is that in chess, it is used to determine a player's next opponent. However, in the Champions League, each team will know all of their fixtures before the tournament starts. In short, more games means more money, and the biggest clubs always take a larger slice of the broadcasting revenues. The top teams have expressed a desire to play more meaningful games against their main rivals, and this new format would theoretically allow them to do so. UEFA President Alexander Seferin was quoted as saying on the 10th of March 2022, "UEFA has clearly shown today that we are fully committed to respecting the fundamental values of sport and to defending the key principle of open competitions, with qualification based on sporting merit, fully in line with the values and solidarity-based European sports model. Today's decisions conclude an extensive consultation process, during which we listen to the ideas of fans, players, coaches, national associations, clubs and leagues, to name but a few, with the aim to find the best solution for the development and success of European football, both domestically and on the international club stage. We are convinced that the format chosen strikes the right balance and that it will improve the competitive balance and generate solid revenues that can be distributed to clubs, leagues and into grassroots football across our continent, while increasing the appeal and popularity of our club competitions." The 36 qualified teams will be entered into a single league phase, what was formerly the group stage, with each side being guaranteed a minimum of 8 league stage matches, 4 home and 4 away. The top 8 sides in the league will qualify automatically for the knockout stage and will be seeded in the draw. Clubs placed 9th to 24th will go into 2-legged playoffs, with the winners going through as unseeded teams and the losers going out. There will be no drop down of teams into the Europa League knockout rounds as of the 2024-25 season. Clubs ranked 25th to 36th will be eliminated from Europe immediately. The competition then returns to the traditional format from the rounds of 16 onwards. Similar format changes will also be applied to the UEFA Europa League, 8 matches in the league stage, and UEFA Europa Conference League, 6 matches in the league stage, and both will also include 36 teams in the league phase. There will again be playoffs to reach the round of 16, but no drop down for the losers from the Europa League into the Europa Conference League either. Qualification to the Champions League is straightforward in theory, but rarely is in practice. Despite the most common path for teams to qualify being through their domestic leagues, with certain leagues having more Champions League places available due to their UEFA coefficient, domestic and other European Cup competitions also play a part, as winning a cup competition could have ramifications in regards to domestic league positions. For example, in England, if a team finished outside the top 4 but also won the Europa League, then that team would take one of those 4 Champions League places. There are a number of variables that could take place throughout a season. However, the following is what the qualification process will look like from the 2024-25 season, with all coefficient rankings correct at the time of writing. If you would like to see the coefficient list in its entirety and in more detail, they are available on UEFA's official website under the section Association Club Coefficients. First qualifying round. 32 champions from associations 23 to 55, except for Liechtenstein, which has no domestic league, and Russia due to current sanctions. Second qualifying round. This round is split into two paths, the Champions Path and the League Path. The Champions Path consists of the 16 winners from the previous round, as well as the 8 champions from associations 15 to 22. The League Path consists of the 6 runners-up from the domestic leagues from associations 10 to 15. Third qualifying round. The two-path system continues with the Champions Path, containing the 12 winners from the previous round's Champions Path, whereas the League Path now contains the 3 winners from the previous round's League Path, as well as adding 3 runners-up from Association 7 to 9, the 3rd place team from Association 6, and the 4th place team from Association 5. Playoff round. The Champions Path for this round consists of the 6 winners from the previous rounds of the Champions Path, as well as adding in the 4 champions from Associations 11 to 14. The League Path merely consists of the 4 winners from the previous round's League Path. Champions League Group Stage. This is the first round of the competition proper, which will contain the 5 winners of the playoff round of the Champions Path, along with the 2 winners from the playoffs of the League Path. They will be joined by the Champions League title holders, the Europa League title holders, the 10 champions from Associations 1 to 10, the 6 runners-up from Associations 1 to 6, the 5 third place teams from Associations 1 to 5, the 4 fourth place teams from Associations 1 to 4, and 2 teams from the associations with the highest one-year country coefficient. This will finally determine the 36 teams which will participate in that season's competition. It is expected that UEFA will create 4 pots of 9 teams based on the 5-year coefficient, which are based off the performance of each club in the Champions League over the past 5 years. Each team will play 2 teams from each pot, both home and away, to create 8 fixtures of roughly equal strength across the board. More quote-unquote big matches will therefore be created by the teams in the top pot being placed against each other. Teams from the same association still cannot play against each other in the group stage, however, similar to the current rules. So there it is, everything you need to know in regards to the new UEFA Champions League format. Of course, there is scope for even more changes to take place between now and the inaugural new versions of these European competitions, however that is all the information that is currently available. What do you think to the new format? Do you feel the tournament needs a change, or is it fine just the way it is? Let me know your opinions in the comment section down below. If you did enjoy this video or found it informative, please be sure to hit that like button and subscribe to Full Time Football. Thank you all very much for watching, and I'll see you as always in the next one.